Hello Gemini, welcome to your September 2016 Love and General readings. Quick announcement, I did set up an Instagram account if you feel like following. It's Jane International. I don't have a lot right up there right now, just some stupid pictures, but I'm going to be traveling a lot in the upcoming few months, and I'll have maybe some more interesting things up there. So that's it. Let's go ahead and get started, Gemini, with your love and general readings, beginning with your love. Interesting reading. I'm getting some opposing energies, the energies of excitement and joy and super happy to be where you are, and yet still kind of not at the same time. I think there has been a sense of dissatisfaction and some disappointment in your life that you are getting over, and that you are coming to terms with, you're coming to peace with. Now, I've said this in every reading almost, I think, and I'm gonna say it for you as well. I know there's a lot of planetary movements, there's like eclipses, and we've got a Mercury retrograde coming up, and there's a lot happening. It truly is a pivotal season for almost everybody, and there are going to be some big changes being made. And also, in terms of these big changes comes acceptance, like I said, of certain things in your life and using those as fuel to get you somewhere else. And I see a peace about you, and I see like the Four of Swords is such a quiet energy. It's so pensive, and it doesn't look back upon the past as good or bad. It just is. And I feel to have the Five of Cups in reverse, it's almost as though, you know, here the Three of Cups associated with the devil, because those are pointing directly here. Something toxic was in your life, something bad, a bad relationship, a bad fight that you were having with your significant other. A bad like taste in your mouth about something, like a real sourness, and that's leaving your life. Maybe not entirely gone yet. I'm not seeing, not with you or with anybody, I'm not seeing these big dramatic aha moments, like no towers coming out, very few magician, you know. It's about evolution, and it's about evolving. Evolution takes time. You changing as a human being takes time. I think that there is a level of acceptance that this was in your life, and a decision that you will never have that in your life again. But you're seeing the beauty of what came out of that. Very, very optimistic, right? Very philosophical, almost like, well, if it wasn't for these three things, then I never would be here. If it wasn't for this, then this never would have happened. And looking at the positive side of something that was not so positive, and looking at the opportunities that this has created for you, making you a better person, making you a stronger person. There is a beginning and an end right next to you. There is a very prominent close to a chapter and a very prominent opening for another one. You literally have a blank canvas, and now is the time to start painting. But using your experiences and using what you've been through, and I'm saying that what you've been through was really hard. was really challenging. A breakup, a fight, like I said, a series of past relationships, maybe even getting out of a narcissistic codependent relationship, something very emotionally abusive or damaging for some of you. And it's like you're taking that experience and saying, you know what, it just is what it is. It happened, and I'm ready to go move on. I'm not seeing yours or anyone else's, again, I'm not seeing like a lot of love entering. I'm not seeing new relationships beginning. I'm seeing you, or whoever I'm reading for. This is about you and your life. It's about you and your internal self, your self-esteem, your confidence, and your direction in your life and what you want out of it. If you are in a relationship and you've been through something challenging, now you are in a deep period of self-reflection. Figuring out like who you are and where you want to go. Because I think that even though you're very positive, okay, and you're looking at the silver lining, you're still maybe dissatisfied with how it all went down, and you're not going to settle for that. There's definitely no signs of settling. Just because you went through something doesn't mean you can't make your future better. And here you are contemplating how you're going to make your future better and what decisions you will make next time to ensure that you get more out of something, right? This experience may have put you a little bit on the defensive. And this is kind of why maybe I'm seeing like not a lot of people dating or letting people in, is because I think a lot of people have been through a lot of shit over the past few months, excuse my language, but shitty stuff that sucks and that made us sad and that put us in kind of a dark place. And even though we're coming out of it and we're reevaluating our life, we're still extremely cautious, especially if you really did go through a breakup and it was maybe someone that you maybe loved so much, or you loved them so hard, but it just couldn't work. There were just things about it that just absolutely were unacceptable for you or unacceptable for them, and it just didn't work. Well, you're not exactly ready to invite someone new into your life, and that's okay. Sometimes we need a period of time, whether it's 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, a year, 5 years, however much time, for ourselves. And if we can't make ourselves happy, then how can we ever expect someone else to make us happy? And this is about you. You making yourself happy and you making the decisions that you want to make because you want that for yourself. So I think you're not going to be in a phase of like the most warm and fuzzy person, just because of some of the emotional things that you've been through. And you are going to be a little bit on the defensive. People want to date you, no, or you might even give off a little bit of a sharper edge, you know, a little bit of a maybe, okay, and I'm contradicting myself, I realize this, but because you're still healing from something, you might be a little bit cynical. Even though you view things in a positive way and you're trying to see the best of what happened, you still have a little edge and a little sharpness to your tongue, a little bit of cynicism. And that in and of itself can be a defense mechanism. From keeping someone else in. You're not at a point of being emotionally vulnerable right now. And I think because of this, you know, the options that come in and the opportunities that might come in otherwise, they won't be coming in. But it's not bad. It's not like you are being denied something good because you know, it's not like that. It's just that the timing isn't right. And I think there's a Mercury retrograde, And things, for me, I get really affected by Mercury retrogrades. I can't even begin to tell you. Like my whole world just gets weird and screwy, and people misunderstand me, and it's just weird. I like to lay low as much as possible during that time. And I think, you know, the things coming in, the communications coming in, the opportunities, they're just on hold for right now, especially in terms of dating. The perfect partner, he's not out, he or she, they're not out there right now. I mean, they're out there, but they're not like poised to enter your life at this point in time. You, I think, are going to be in a state of unacceptance, not accepting, because you're still figuring things out. You're still like, okay, well, I'm unhappy with the way things went. I'm unhappy with what I got out of that relationship. How do I ensure that I get more the next time around? Or what do I need to do? Because you worked hard, you put in, this is a lot of energy. Always, the black, the dark, it sucks life away from us. And when you find yourself in a relationship like this, it is exhausting. It could just be a phase, right? A fight, a very specific issue that you're having, whether it's about children or whether it's about getting married or whatever. And you just are needing a break, and that is okay. This is a break for yourself. Maybe some of you will travel, some of you will open your mind to new experiences and allow positivity to enter into your life. Not in terms of dating and human beings necessarily, but experiences. 2 major arcanas. We got a whole like little cluster of the majors right here. I feel that you are needing to restore your faith. After this, we have like the devil, and to me this is like a very godlike figure, right? It's like the Pope or something. It's a very black versus white. And there is a need for you to reconnect with this higher purpose, this higher, this bigger than you institution. Now, this can even speak to you in terms of an actual organized religion or just a belief system that you have that is bigger than you. And that may be the loss of that, because when you're in this situation, you get so lost and so trapped, and you get such tunnel vision. And it's very, very difficult to see things outside of that. And now this is a period of expansion for you. You're going to take those blinders off, and you're going to be able to see things not just directly in front of you, but all in your whole periphery. And that is going to open up your mind. It's going to open up your spirit, and it's going to allow you to find and reconnect with that higher purpose, right? That bigger than you self. There is, I mean, the beginning and the end and another beginning. I mean, there's a very obvious message of a new cycle for you. And I hate to be the one that keeps saying new beginnings, blah, blah, blah. But it is. You might not know exactly where you're going yet. You just are at the point of knowing and acknowledging that something needs to change. That you need more, right? You deserve more. Not just that you need more, but that you deserve more. In terms of your partner, you might not know exactly what that is. You might not exactly have the definition of everything that you want to be and everything that you think your partner should be and all these things. You don't have that yet, and that's okay. This is about baby steps and the acknowledgement. It's kind of like, you know, when you're an alcoholic, the first step is admitting you have a problem. That's what's happening here. Admitting that you have an issue, admitting that something needs to change. And because before anything can change, you have to know what. Okay, and even though you might not quite know exactly, or you might not be able to really see a true outcome yet, I mean, major arcana, they are inevitabilities. They are unavoidable, especially cards like the Death card. This is very heavily driven by time. Time is the healer of all wounds. You cannot push time through. You cannot make things happen faster. It is something you just must go through day by day by day. You don't have a choice. And I think that's kind of what is, so it's kind of exciting because you're ready for it. You're ready for this change to come into your life. So it might happen faster, but you obviously can't push your way through it. You can't force yourself to heal. Okay? So interesting reading for you, Gemini. I wish you luck. Let's move into your general. We have two of the majors that are the same. So that's obviously a message for you. So the things that you're dealing with, that you're going through, they're not going anywhere, but this is a 3, and the 3 is, and we have 2 3s, is, new life. It's associated with the Empress in the major arcana. The Empress is the creator of life. She's the creator of a new soul and also is responsible for the harvest of efforts, right? So there's the creation side and there is the harvest side as well. And I think that's the creation right now is more where it's at. This can speak to you in many ways. I've been kind of trying to keep it generic and not tying it into the love. And but please interpret and fill in the blanks as needed. This is like communications coming from you, which this is actually refreshing because I've seen we've been getting a lot of like blocked communication and things not coming through and not hearing from people. So I don't think that communication is really going to be an issue for you in terms of receiving messages or receiving news of something, news of new opportunities, right? So this new direction that you might be heading in terms of love can also apply in terms of career or in terms of just your energy in general. There's a very like family-like vibe with these 2 cards here. And it's interesting that they're connected with the Devil. There may be some issue with your family. There may be some, and once in a while when I pull this card, depends on the messages that I'm giving and all this, but it depends where my focus goes. Sometimes it's the animals, sometimes it's the people. Right now I'm getting it on this old man. There may be someone elderly in your life that is being affected, or I feel like you're like almost waiting for news from him. Now, it doesn't have to be specifically your family. It could be a boss or someone in a more, what's the word, like patriarch, like a more leader of a family or an organization. I feel like this is too specific, and a lot of people are not going to relate to this. There's definitely like the nostalgia element of this, right? The thinking back about your past and connecting with. It's weird because I kind of had a similar message for Taurus, not exactly the same, but similar. And thinking back to a moment in your past where you felt happy or where you felt at peace and you felt joy, and whether it was a place that you loved to go, like a tree house, or a toy that you loved, or a thing or an activity that you loved to do. And I am getting a lot of communication, because we're getting this card here as well. I'm wondering if there isn't some connection with your past, right? In terms of this new direction, you may be reaching to your past and pulling it to your present, and using that place, that sense of happiness, or that sense of like childlike wonderment, and that's what kind of with the page, in order to formulate this new direction, in order to choose a new place. And this old man here, he's really sticking out to me, and I have no idea why, but there really may be someone in your life, and I feel like it could be someone that you've had conflict with. It doesn't have to be a man, it could be a male or female, but more so a man. But like someone that it's almost like someone you don't have a good relationship with, someone that you maybe have been running away from, like avoiding, and there's like even a sense of failure, or like at least one of you out there, and this might be very generic, and may apply to many of you, but some of you may feel like you were a disappointing child, or that you were a disappointment in your life, and that this person might not have any qualms about letting you know that you were a disappointment in some way. I'm not sensing a very happy vibe here, but there were happy moments, there were good things, but I'm wondering if some of you might not be being forced to deal with some psychological issues as well. I'm sorry, this is so specific, but I really feel like there maybe have been some sense of denial, or something that you have been running away from, and now you're kind of being forced to face the music. And now again, you're reaching back into your past and finding things that I feel like you have decided that somewhere along the line you are quite off track of where you thought you would be. And we all are there, very rarely do we look at our life and say, well, I'm exactly where I want to be, and everything is exactly, and I'm happy, and everything is perfect. We never say that. But you are using something that made you happy in your past. You're pulling it into your present, and you're using it to formulate a future. And along with that trip down memory lane, you are drudging up something that I feel like you felt like you were a failure in some way. It's not preventing you from moving forward. It's not preventing you from really creating or making things happen for yourself, because I see a lot of activity for you. And like I said, there's not a lot of blockages in terms of communication, or in terms of receiving messages or receiving opportunities. There's nothing that's like not coming to you really. And you can make whatever you want happen it can happen if you want it. But at the same time, I think that you are dealing with some demons right now, which might add to the intensity of what you're going through in your romantic relationship or your romantic life as well. But you are closing a chapter, right? With the world, there's that, oh, you know what, that Hierophant in that last reading as well could speak to you in terms of family as well. It's like you're having two things running parallel. It's like you're creating your future and you're moving forward and you're making stuff happen, but you're also dealing with intense issues from things in your past. But at the same time, you are quite excited and joyful, and maybe coming to terms with this, even if you don't necessarily like talk to this person or you don't necessarily confront them in any way, more so just like talking about it and getting it out of your system and acknowledging it, will help you, I think, to see things more clearly and to help you to see things in a more truthful and honest way. And it's like whatever weight has been on your shoulders will be instantly lifted and you will feel free. I love the Page of Swords. It's one of my favorite characters. I mean, they're all kind of my favorite in some way, but really in terms of the sense of freedom and the free spirit and having an open mind and like being ready for an opportunity, I feel like this one is, and I kind of see him as like running around, you know, and going and looking and talking to people and chatting people up and getting more information and then running to the next place. You know, it's a very active energy and it's a very curious energy, and it's like I say, it's a very free spirit. And this energy has no worries, it has no stress, right? Whatever point of contention and point of stress that this person may have or that this family unit may cause, this may even apply to money because it is Pentacles as well, whether it is some form of an inheritance or your place in an estate. Maybe there was some argument in the past where you were cut out of a will or something. I know I'm really specific, I know, but I try not to be so specific in my generals, but you know, something that you have been desperately running away from, I think, is going to come whooshing back in some way, but it's all going to be okay. It's not anything to be afraid of, right? There's no cards here that indicate to me that it doesn't work out or that it's a bad thing. It's something that I think will help to free your mind and something to help you come to peace. Come to a new understanding. Yeah, I mean, look at all these cards. I mean, this is seeing, it's the same. Page, Hanged Man, reinforcing one another, seeing things from a new perspective, seeing things from new angles. Maybe for the first time, you put yourself in this person's position and start to see things the way they see things, or start to understand the reasons why. You know, maybe you were so focused on how it affected you that you weren't empathizing with where they were coming from and just completely running away or being in denial or just displacing yourself from the family unit or something tight-knit like this. And now you're coming and starting to see and understand things. And there's a very, very clear message of moving on, a very, very clear message of going and seeking more, and you becoming this emperor, you becoming this tried and true, not afraid to fight, not afraid to work, not afraid to take action, but also coming from a place of intelligence and understanding in terms of your approach to life. I think that this phase that you're going through, this little bout of whatever, is going to be incredibly life-changing, and it's going to take you from page or knight to emperor, which is a huge promotion because this is not only like a king or a queen, but it's like the king of kings, right? The emperor, the trump card, the major arcana, the king of kings, the titans to the gods, right? I mean, you are in terms of you and your life transforming, and you are evolving and you are growing as a person. Some things you need to deal with, but still exciting at the same time. Like I said, there's nothing bad here. This is not a bad message. There's contention in our lives every single month. There's no perfect reading. I've never given a perfect reading ever, except for maybe once. But that was about it, where there were no, there's always things that we have to deal with. So I wish you nothing but the best. Good luck. I think September is going to be a very fascinating month to watch. And I wish you nothing but the best. Good luck. See you next month. Bye.